This is the It's Time to Refresh podcast with Brad Refresh, the podcast about life, music, traveling, shit, literal shit that is, and weird and wacky stories with Brad, and a range of guests from the planet Earth. Feel free to share the pod with your pals, your mom, your neighbor's dog, or even your shrink. It's all fun. You can follow our Facebook group called It's Time to Refresh Community, or It's Time to Refresh on Instagram. Write into the pod, ask questions, and share your stories. Enjoy the pod.
Hey kids, what time is it?
It's time to refresh.
You all right? How we doing? Just want to take 2 minutes of your time before we start this week's podcast to tell you about our Patreon. Patreon is a tool that we're using to help the podcast grow, give you better content, and, well, as I said, just let the podcast grow. So we've got 3 tiers. The first tier, there's only 20 of these spaces available, and it's £1 for life, and that's for It's Time to Refresh Originals. So if you've tuned in from day one and you want to join the cause, you can sign up for £1. Just follow the link in the description. We've got the standard Patreon, which you get access to bonus episodes, some exclusive content, Patreon specials, which we'll be recording, and early access to all future episodes. So you'll be getting them on a Tuesday instead of a Friday, which I think is fucking amazing for £3. That's less than a coffee. And then we've got our legend status VIP Patreons, which is £10. And that gets you tickets to all my gigs, and it will get you free entry to any It's Time to Refresh associated events, gigs in the future. So that's a little hint of what's coming up in the future. If you do like the podcast, then please share it with your mates. We are trying to grow this little thing we've got going. We've got some amazing guests coming up in the future as well, and we want this to go bigger and better. So sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/It's Time to Refresh. Thank you. Enjoy the episode. Back once again with another podcast. This is episode 21, and it's the first ever double up episode. So we've got DOOF and we've got REEDY.
Oi!
You're not going to say hello?
No.
Ray
Camera shy.
Doesn't want to say hello. Hello everyone. I'm REEDY and this is DOOF.
I don't know if you've realised or not yet, but DOOF's just literally been picked up from a festival, so...
Just!
Yeah.
So, got back...
And he's still on the beard as well.
I need to perk it so I don't start falling asleep. But yeah, there's my wristband. I've just come back. It's probably a terrible idea for me to be doing a podcast now, because I'm obviously still a little bit intoxicated and I've had no sleep over the last few days. But
it's gonna be
should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Let's have a laugh at my expense.
So, hey mate, I'm still gonna put it out. It'll be funny. So you went to Soulfest. You've just been saying off camera there about you enjoying Pendulum. So,
yeah.
How was the weekend overall? You went on the Saturday.
Yeah, it was a spur of the moment decision. I was talking to a pal randomly. I'd had a scroll through Facebook previously, first time in, I don't know, a few weeks. I try not to go on every day because it can get addictive, Facebook, with all the scrolling and that, so...
Yeah. Becomes habit.
Aye. So I randomly spoke to a pal and Soulfest's on, like, good weather and that at the minute. Like, he was like, I was thinking about, because he's good at his own business, I was thinking about getting the staff to run the business or even, like, shut it for the night and go through. But, like, lads, I was going to be going through with, they can't make it, so I'm a bit gutted. And I was like, well, I've just temporarily, hopefully, split up with my girlfriend again for the 1,000th time this year, unfortunately. Dead sad. Miss you, Lindsay.
He's gonna fucking kill you.
So, and I'm also off work at the minute while my internet provider gets changed over. So I was free. it was payday a couple of days before that as well. So I was like, right, if you need someone to go with, I'm your man. Let's make it happen. So it was a spur of the moment decision. Went through, got there like sort of late-ish Saturday. Excellent. What a belter weekend. As brief as it was. Best set, main arena. Saturday night, Pendulum.
What were the playing new stuff or old stuff?
Probably a bit of both. Lots of classics. Favourite song played was Pendulum's remix, Voodoo People.
Class.
Which I've actually got a little bit of a story about that. One of the nights I played at Electric Soup, can't remember, it'll be in one of the Dirty Donkers nights, I think.
We played it at Sank in the Lakes as well. We played it at Sank in the Lakes as well, that thing at the fucking town ground.
The Pendulum?
We played Voodoo People at the end of the first hour.
Oh, I didn't realise. I thought it was the first move doing the Electric Soup. But anyway, so I used to do the odd hour, last hour for the Dirty Donkers lads, like playing Mackinac and that. And so, just for the laugh, I thought, I'll be a bit experimental here. And so I think I was playing Quansing Overflow, which is blow that whistle, dun, 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 dun. Right, so if I said the name Overflow, people would be like, oh, what's that? So you have to like blow that whistle, like teach them through that. And so played that, and then I dropped the Pendulum mix of Voodoo People, and
How did you get down? It's a bit different to what their crowd used
well,
to.
from what I've seen from the crowd, they seem to be like going wild and that. But the MCs, they couldn't like MC. They would do it. They were struggling. One of them come off it to us, and they were like, "Respect DOOF, like sound for playing this." But like, we can't MC, do we? And that, can you get the monkey back on and Monte? And I was like, well, of course, I was only just playing the one song like for a laugh. And so then after that, just to push boundaries further, I didn't go too wild, but I played, is it Camera, Darren Styles, Come Running.
Oh yeah, Darren Styles. Yeah, that's a good tune, that'll get everyone down now.
It mixed a treat in Voodoo People. And I started mixing it at a mad place, maybe like in the middle of a breakdown or something. And then just at the right time, because when you mix it, the riff comes in, and it's just like, oh, what a mix. After that, I went to the Ark, not the Ark, I went back to the Monkey and like whatever,
sounds like a decent set to be
the lads wanted to like MC and whatever and that, like, but from what I could see, I think the crowd enjoyed it. Well, I hope they appreciated what happened, because you don't really get things like that.
Not
where
around here,
DJs will be like experimental, like to that degree, and just like try like other genres, like mix it up and stuff like that. I remember I'd done you asked me to do a good event once. I can't remember where it was at, but you wanted us to play old school like Italian unknowns.
Yeah.
And that was class for me, to be able to dig through the crates and like go through like loads of songs, like class songs, but just not like your TH Express, like sort of bomb diggy diggy bomb, like sort of like vibes that you would normally get played. So that was a really good gig. And at the end of that, I played Voulez-Vous Monkey Tune, Voulez-Vous, for the last song, and I just put the pitch right up, so it would like play at the Mackinac speed, right at the end of playing like at a Italian speed. So
it's a good set, I remember that. I've still got the recordings for that somewhere.
Real?
Send you them.
I want the recordings from
the last
last
job.
time. He said he had a recordings
I've got it
of me
uploaded.
MCing.
Well, when I was talking
Not
to you.
uploaded publicly.
No,
publicly,
it's uploaded on a private, on the cloud.
Oh, please do.
Don't make
please.
it public.
Ballistic.
Like, sorry, no,
Ballistic.
no, that can't be public. Well, not till I've at least listened to it first.
I'll tell you now, you won't want that public. I'm not saying you shite on it, but you shite on it. Like,
Yeah, I will
Oh,
be.
we know he's
I will,
shite on
I
it.
will be. Like, I'll odd me answer to that. But
Quite ironic.
so to wrap the festival off, Pendulum was Unreal. Then right after Pendulum, there was Friction, done bass DJ, another tent, and Matrix and Future Bound after him.
decent.
Superb.
Class.
Superb.
It's always a good weekend, Soulfest. Like,
And last minute.
yeah.
like,
No,
decisions to go
I always,
slow.
do you think though, like last minute plans are always the
They're always
best.
the best, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember looking
That's what I'm
forward to,
saying.
I can't remember if it was like a weekender event or something like that. It was, I built myself up for it for like 6 months because it was well in advance. And I got there and I think I'd overexcited myself, like this is going to be the best thing ever.
And it was shit.
And it was good, but it wasn't
Oh,
what I pictured. But then there's times when like mates have messaged saying like on a Friday night, oh, this event's on so and so, do you fancy it? And I've went to it and it's like one of the best nights of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just because I think it's just because it's off the cuff and best nights
No
ever.
expectations. Rather than we'd maybe have you been to a tidy weekender?
I haven't no.
Oh well, it's something we went to a lot, and you'd buy your tickets in advance. And tidy weekend is probably a bad example for this sort of crack, but when you buy tickets in advance and like you've got loads of expectations because you're waiting ages till the event and
Yeah.
like and I don't know, it might not be as good as what it would have been if you'd have just went spare the moment thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna go to one of them. I backed them for it because I didn't like this fucking startup campaign thing. And
Did they? Never.
no. Kickstarter. It was.
Last
and-
one ever.
Don't know.
Last one ever.
Which it was the last one ever, from what I can gather. It was like
I've been to about 8 or 9 of them, and every one of them's been the last one ever.
that's just what it is. Though, isn't it?
They love that for the marketing tactics.
Well, they're
But
coming
I'm
back
not
and doing
complaining because
Definitely not.
it's
Apparently, the last one that's just been on that Tidyland is meant to be one of the best ones I've ever done. I think it's because they've waited like the people who booked it initially. They've waited like 3 years past the pandemic and all that. They've made it outdoors as well. So on the green in Pontins, isn't it?
Pressed that in the last jam, was it?
It's
I wanted
Pontins
to go
or Butlins or something
Yeah.
like that. Anyways, on the green there, they've made it the stage and outdoor through the day. So it's like
someone was saying about that last night. I found someone who was saying about the outdoor stage. Since I found out about the tidy weekenders, I didn't miss one. I went there every single weekend as soon as like I heard, as soon as I heard there was a thing. But
big following and working though. Like a lot of people go from working. to Tidyland.
yeah, I had house it's massive. I'd say.
From the Fustons, really.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say just as much as like the bounce or new monkey scene, but
The younger kids aren't into it.
took the words right out of my mouth. The newer generation like not really getting into hard house because there's like no more events.
But
anymore.
saying that, right, after we were talking and that, you were saying about the this tech trance thing that's on, this techno, whatever you were saying before. Do you remember about the? I don't even know what it is, but the way I describe it is it's like Shugs, David Rust. Is it David Nemo as well? Like that.
I remember you saying them a couple of them names there, but I can't remember the crack.
Oh, it was it's the big techno kick drums with the hard house bass lines, and I think now,
Oh,
for instance,
yeah.
I seen a video yesterday, and I might be getting this wrong, but that is it. Holly Lang? Is it played? Do you know what Hannah Lang? Hannah Lang, is that right?
I feel like I recognise it.
She's a DJ. She was playing at Creamfields, and she dropped "Love So Deep" by Kid Dynamo, which hard house track is on Cheeky Tracks, and well, as I say, like hard house getting played at Creamfields, it's not a bad thing, is it really?
It always used to.
I was going to say they would have
from
they used to have a
2012
tent.
till now.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
There'll maybe be a tide attracts and some
Bear in mind, this was
essential
like on the tricks stage.
Nuclear
I think
So
Frantic
it's
used to
like,
have a stage there, didn't there, as well?
Yeah, that definitely sounds right.
yeah. So, but it's good that it's sort of creeping back because all the young kids were loving it. Like you seen on the video, it was like
The weekenders where it's just a Butlins or Pontins
Yeah.
or holiday camp.
it's cheap and cheerful, isn't it?
Thousands of people all there to do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
All there to have a
Flip
laugh,
up in the shallow.
music,
Yeah.
like get wrecked party. You have blocks of chalets and you just go around from like different blocks to wherever your decks are, like
decks
people,
parties
you
in
just
bedrooms and that.
the amount of people I've met over the years by going to them, and even though I haven't been to a weekend in like a few years now,
Yeah.
there's still like people I talk to that have just like met it at the weekenders. I would advise anyone who likes hard house, bounce, hardcore, anything like that. If you haven't been to a tidy weekender, go to one.
How much are they paying?
Quite possibly the best.
Hello?
Quite possibly the best weekend of your life.
Yeah.
Like as I said before in the podcast, once I found out about them and went to one, like I didn't miss one.
Yeah.
Like. Not financial advice, but I took a loan out once just so I could go to it. That's a terrible idea. Never do that. But it was well worth the money.
Class. Right, we'll get on to yours too then, because I haven't heard him speak yet.
Oh, just let him talk. I could do with some sleep.
Nah,
Well,
I
had
just
two
want
in
to
the
know,
last
how
2
did
years.
you meet each other?
That's a funny one.
Go on.
Do you want to tell it or do you want me to? Or can you not remember?
Is it the house and the right? Well,
I'd just moved it. Well, I'd not long moved into the house in Wookitten. There was like 3 or 4 of us living in it at the time, and it was a fucking party house.
you tell the bit until you go to bed. I'll take it
So,
from there.
anyways, we'd had fucking hell on with the neighbours. We were on our like 3rd or 4th warning off like getting kicked out, and
What's this loud music and
loud music, people fucking turning up all the time, one thing and another. I wasn't going to work. I think I was on my last warning at work for not going in, and whatever night it was, he'd been out with, was it Stacey was living with us at the time, he'd been out with someone, was it her buster?
Kel.
Maybe. But any odds, that night I was like, right, I'm going to work in the morning, so I knew that they were all going to come back and put the fucking decks on in the kitchen, so I took all the phono leads and everything out of the fucking back of the decks and went to bed. Sleeping away, next thing
So you took the cable so like no one could like use the decks, and me and Ellie said come round like partying, and like oh decks and that, we'll mind a mix and that, and like oh fucking. REEDY's took the cables and that to bed with him. I think Kel was like saying to us. And, well, REEDY only lived round the corner from Lyle Ellis's house, my engineer. Big shout out to Ellis. So, we just both looked at each other. We'll just go and get the cables. So we went round to Ellis's at God knows what time in the morning. Went hunting for cables, come back round, wired the decks up and that, had them pumping, and that was the first time I'd like been into his house, and
didn't know him from Adam at the time, or Ellis.
No, I think I'm maybe bumped into you.
I bumped into you a
events and,
couple
like,
of fucking things in Fusion, but we
I'll
hadn't
be
really had
looking
a proper cracker out.
Right, I'll be.
What year is
looking
this
at
then?
Fusion.
That should be either 2008 or 2009 or something.
Right, nobody's just such a good time frame.
But I come downstairs cutting the fucking prawn, like, you fucking assholes, who the fuck do you think you are in that? And if you meet Ellis, when he gets drunk, his eyes close and his head tilts back a little bit. And, is this cunt even awake? No fancy halal mix, cuz.
Class. So, was this your last warning then on the house at this point?
No, I think we were in there for another 4 or 5 months, like.
I'm surprised they didn't get it you shut down like everything else in town, eh? Do you know what I mean?
It was touch and go at one point.
After he lived there, he moved to somewhere else where he lives now, and we started becoming like really close, like pals at this
Is that
point.
through music and that as well? Like,
We met through friend of friends and like similar interests, like in music, but not just music. Like we've got loads.
Oh,
of,
do you like wrestling as well?
No.
No.
Do you like skating?
No.
No.
I used to play computer games, like video games, like Xbox or whatever. The last game I played was GTA 5, I believe, when that first come out. But a few years ago now.
Last game I played, like GTA, I played was GTA 4. That's how long I haven't played games in years.
Yeah. Liked them as a kid, but I'd be scared to play one now in case I got sucked into it and just take off your life. And
Well,
you
when
don't
we
gain
went into
anything from
lockdown,
it.
like, I don't even know why I had a computer. I had a PlayStation for whatever reason, and this game came out. What's the one where you go into the gulag?
Oh, Warzone.
Right, I downloaded this because all my mates were like, get on this is lockdown fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
And then...
Good. I would play a computer game like when lockdown. Right.
But it was shite because you jump out of an airplane and I was fucking shot before I hit the ground dead. like I just thought, these people, I've been out of the... Because I stopped playing games at Call of Duty 4, like Modern Warfare. So like it's a while back, like 2008, 2009. And I thought, I've been out of the game for too long. I can't build myself up to be as good as them, so I'm fucking this right off. So that lasted a day. And that was me out of gaming. I was like, right, I'll just make some more music. That'll do.
I really played out for...
Good decision, because you don't get out from wasting hours like playing games.
Entertainment though, innit?
But if you waste hours making a song, then like you
Yeah, you've got
learn
it
it,
from-
and then you
to
can
keep
get a
it.
finished product from it that can now get released on your label if not signed by someone else.
Yeah.
And then you can get money from it and
If you're lucky.
build your fan base. Like
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Nah, I just thought, do you know, like, you felt like you're missing out
moral
the
of the story: be more productive with your time.
track. Yeah. I wish they'd
When
let
was
it-
the last time we made a mix?
I don't know. You can't say I haven't seen anything on DOOF UK in ages.
I know. It's maybe like 2018. Some last time I put a mix of. Shocking, I know. A pal of mine, Frankie, shout out Frankie baby. He's just got a pretty much, well, he already had CDJs and a mixer, but he's just got a massive deck stand, Technics,
Yeah.
brand new speakers. I've been round a couple of times, helping set things up and whatever. Had a couple of mixes with him. But there's apart from him, there's like different things happening at the minute. He's been like showing us a few things, and I'm going to this festival as well, talking to DJs and that were on there. I know from round here and whatever. I'm starting to get a bit of
bug.
starting to get a bit of a bug back, and hopefully I'll
What
get
is it
me
you want
buzz back
to
then,
do? Like what style? Or just a bit of everything? If you were to come back, what would
I
you...
just want to blow the dust off the decks.
Yeah.
That just boxed up like gathered and dust at the minute. Blow the dust off and just have a mix and just enjoy having a mix again. Because I don't like, as I say, the decks are boxed up, gathered and dust. Like since I last moved house, they've just never been. They've never been set back up. So I want to get back in. Just maybe half an hour every day, just getting back into it.
Yeah.
No like plans on like doing anything more with the channel, creating mixes, DJing anywhere. But never say never.
What about
I
you?
will
When
get
was
back
last time
into it.
Dexter were fired up?
Maybe about a month ago for half an hour or something like that. They'll get an hour's use every fucking 4 or 5 months or something like that.
And what were you playing? Just out of interest.
I think it was hardcore I was playing.
Hardcore, right.
We've got an awesome
Although
idea.
I did a I sort of recorded a mix for my pal's wedding before, was it May or something like that, and that was bounce hardcore and Machina.
Right. What, and it was, what, like a few hours long or something?
No,
like
it
that?
was just an hour.
An hour, and you
Hour
just
and a
fitted it all in,
half,
right? No worries. Right, so that was the last recording you done, sort of say.
Pretty much. And even that was mostly like bits of, every so often I'll like go on the decks and I'll record like 6 minutes and it'll be maybe 2 mixes and I'll be like, right, I'll do something with that at some point. And then nothing ever happened, so I like sort of stitched a few of them together and, yeah, pal, there's for the last hour of your wedding do.
Not bad.
What I was going to say is, now that I'm getting the buzz back a little bit, I want to start going to his house more and work on a project with,
It's over 10 years we've been talking about this and not doing
there's
it.
like little bits being made, little like segments, but we're a long way off having an hour mix. And what it is, in other genres, you see it happen all the time. A good example would be Roddy Style and Ben Stevens. They done something called Chaos Theory,
Right.
where it was a live set and just mashed loads of things up.
Yeah.
And I've not seen anyone do anything like
like
that really in the Machina scene.
It was like half on Ableton, half on Tractor sort of thing with about fucking 8 decks or something.
Right. So you're making mashups and samples of different bits, putting it all together in a mix. Like so, you
Yeah.
decent idea. I rate fucking Ben Stevens and Roddy Starr like massively. Really good producers. But I can't remember who I've seen someone do it before, like with the mashup thing, and I think it works excellent. Maybe Gamma or someone like that. Like
Yeah.
I think
I
Gamma
think
done
Gamma's
like
done a few stuff like
something
that.
about a snowman, how to build a snowman or something like that.
Most genres, you
Yeah.
probably
But
get something like that, but
fucking
no
get your
one's
finger
done
up and get it
with
done.
Machina. Eyes, me and him, Bicella, we've made a couple of bits and pieces, just like little segments, like one song, but with like 10 other songs, like chop parts in it.
Yeah.
But long way off doing a full finished product. But that's something that I'm gonna like try and take some time out to do.
People really appreciate stuff like that as well, like because now loads of people can just fire up decks, mix end to end. But when you see creative things like this, you see a lot of people like go towards that. I've just seen someone put out like a mega mix mashup, and it's an hour of tunes. But there's like some stupid like in it, like 140 tunes in the hour.
Have you seen that 2-hour one that Alex K made of like 90s classics?
Yeah, something like that.
A lot of them aren't even like proper dance tunes, some of them are just pop tunes that he's thrown in, sort of thing, like really fucking good.
It's a really good mix.
But if you notice on it though, it gets a lot of attention because people's attention spans are shit nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're playing 30
What we
seconds of a
saying
song. I've said if you play 30 seconds of a tune now, you'll get people's attention and they'll drift out. But if it's constantly 30 seconds, oh, here's another tune, or no, here's another, and keep so them type of stuff does get a lot of traction. I do like them. It's just very time consuming to make. I'd rather produce a track over than do a mega mix. But you lads could do definitely.
Produce and making tracks.
That hasn't happened in a long time, has it?
I also have probably done more producing work than DJing over the last couple of years, but I do all my tunes with LECs, my like engineer, like like.
So what was the last tune you released or put out publicly?
Right. Well, not. I won't talk about my last release that was on a label, but just like for Rave Crack for the podcast and that. One of the last tunes me and Ellis finished was we'd done it for a laugh, like just for a joke. It was a remix of Destiny's Child, I'm a Survivor. I think it was. But
I don't remember this.
Right, how it come about was there's not a lot of original creativity in the Northeast Mackinac scene. A lot of outstanding producers make unreal originals, but there's so many remixes. And
Sounds like the Bouncy.
a couple of the Monte lads, they've like took the piece and like they've remixed like Aqua or Barbie Girl or something like this. Do you know what tunes I'm on about here that probably Static's done?
You've probably showed us some at some
I
point.
don't know. Well, the
You'll have
doing
showed us
stuff
at the time.
just like for a laugh. But people were loving it. Venga Boys, Boom Boom Boom, that was one. And so I was having a crack with Ellis about possibilities of doing a song like this, and we were just going through like endless lists of acapellas, and we found the Survivor, Destiny's Child acapella, and we were just like, oh, should we just choose that, like,
Fire the fuck not, eh?
for a laugh. It was just like random, and Ellis wrote a simple but quite catchy melody in a bouncy like Monte style, and because it was Destiny's Child, we didn't want to like put our name to it or anything like that, and so what we done, like, I think I maybe told one person from the Monte label that we were doing this or whatever, but what happened was we finished the tune, which was also one of the quickest. Normally takes the ages to make a tune. Well, it does for me and Ellis, and it was, but we'd like rattled this off in like a couple of days or something. And so finished the tune, and what I done was on my YouTube channel, my Monte UK Mackinac, like part whatever mixes. One of the might have been the last one of them I done. I played it first song.
Right.
And it's under an alias. It's I think it's Destiny's Chavez or something like that.
Very thin.
Destiny's Chavez Survivor. I can't remember the actual name, but I wasn't saying DOOF and Ellie. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
I seen
just like I just kept it secret, so no one knows apart from you and Static.
And everyone who's listening now.
Oh, hi.
Nah, but I was having a crack with. Do you know Dave Gray from he's in that house saying he's General Bounty goes under the name.
No.
I had him on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Oh,
So-
I haven't listened yet, but yeah, definitely. I'll listen to that.
So we're having a crack on the way to doing the podcast, and he was saying that certain people sending him music and that. He won't mind me saying this, like, but he says, and he was having a crack with one of the lads, and he says, honestly, I can't believe I'm not getting any bookings, blah blah blah. They were saying this to Dave, and he's like, well, what do you expect? No one's going to take you seriously if you're remixing, like, as you say, like you said, Destiny's Child and that, putting the name to it, but every tune is a cheesy chart remix. No one's going to book you to play, unless it's like some sort of gimmick.
You need to
thing.
make original music.
Yeah, or remix tunes that are less cheesy.
And
like,
it takes a lot of time to get to that standard, just because you're now at the standard where you can make a tune, you can write the tune, you can mix it down well, give it a bit of a master or whatever.
Write the
But
theme tune.
it doesn't mean that it's an anthem, a really good song, a future anthem, what people are going to love on the dance floor. To make an anthem can be a really easy thing to do, because some tunes that just fly together, like. But so it's easy make an anthem, but for it to be an anthem where people are loving it, that's like the hardest thing to do. So you have to get to a certain level where you can not just like make a tune, but like just constantly keep making tunes till you get just that one that just happens to stand out for the rest of them, and you've got yourself an anthem.
I've seen a few people now, especially I don't know much about the northeast scene, but in bouncing
It's class,
hardcore,
mate.
It's
So
got,
get into it. It's really good, really good.
but in bounce and hardcore, I've seen a few people now get like pop vocals, and these pop vocals are just carrying the full track. They're not doing. They're adding a bass line and maybe a little tiny melody, because it's like a pop song. There's constant singing throughout. They just cheat. It feels like they're cheating their way out of making a proper track. Do you know what I mean? Like a kick, a bass line.
I like remixes, but
Yeah.
you can't have every song that you're doing like a remix of a pop.
Pop tune, yeah.
No disrespect to anyone that's doing that. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've done it myself.
like,
don't get me wrong. Like,
Oh yeah.
Me too, people have made a living out of it.
We've all done it, but I think your point is you can't just do that.
focus on that. Yeah, you can't
need
expect to be taken seriously as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and it'd be better for your own for yourself learning and becoming a better producer if you're not just using remix kits where you get the full stems, the music, and as well as the a cappella. So you don't have to really write much music. All the notes
exactly, it's all there for you.
Like
right. So I know we're off on a bit of a tangent there again. I want to get onto
there'll be tangents.
So yeah, obviously. But I want to get into when did you like group together and do DOOF and REEDY? What was the first gig like? Because I knew you first, I believe, and then I seen you started doing bits together. Because I'm sure I booked you both, didn't I, in like 2011 or something? For fucking It Was Dead the night.
Can't remember.
Elliot's.
I've had
remember.
this on a couple of times.
Yeah,
I've had him on his own, and I've had you on your own, and then I booked you on the same night one night as well.
Right, I was under the impression we'd done a few gigs.
You did a DOOF and REEDY thing for me with Scott Brown as well.
Right, or sound for
I
the
was gonna
booking
say.
again.
that was more you did that for us than we did that for you.
I knew honestly, I knew you were massive fans of them, massive fans of Scott Brown. So it's like, I think it was only fitting there. And then I put you on after him as well, didn't I?
Before I got
you
into
did,
New
aye.
Monkey out like that, I was like listening to Scott Brown on the Bonkers, like CDs and tapes, and he's technically like childhood hero.
That's for me as well.
And so,
I
be on the
stupidly
decks after him. Bit embarrassing because of the control, and I'm just used to like CD decks and things like that. I said to him like, how do you work this? How do I get like my sticks in and change the song and whatever? But I'd met him before on a boat party, a rave in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And but no, he's a really because some DJs like they're up their own arse and like
I think he likes to party as well.
MCs like they're terrible like to talk to and try and have a crack with. But Scott Brown though is a good bloke.
Even though it was quiet, you could tell he wanted to be there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when he done his set, he didn't just leave like every other DJ would do. They do the set and then they just F off. Where
Half of them have got 3 bookings all across the country, haven't they?
He stayed.
He had another booking as well that night,
He seemed to be liking mine and Reedy's set, especially he played Static's remix of Sonic. You'll he played a static mix Sonic, and he come off it. He was on the decks playing at the time, and he come off it. He was like, "That's Sonic, I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll send you the copy of it. I haven't heard any sets whether he's played or not, but
I must say, for the people I've booked in the past, where you've had to deal with, say, like agents, or you've had to deal with contracts and stuff like that. There hasn't been a great deal of them, but he was the easiest to deal with out of all of them. Like, just straightforward, simple. Didn't have these fucking stupid riders where it needs to be this, it needs to be that. I need to have fucking 20 bottles of vodka waiting for me. Fucking, I had 200 Lambert and Butlers, do you know what I mean? It's like, I
don't know if they're on the go anymore, but good grief.
Yeah.
That brand, or whatever, terrible. We had when I worked at Fusion, we had them there for a night or two, and terrible. Like
just with riders and stuff like that, is it? Or?
Just everything, just all the demands and Aye. If I had a club
It was
myself
like
now
was it
and
Lashes and
people wanted them up to put something on, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
who was that? Was it Alex Kidd and Lisa Lashes that were on that night or something like that?
Don't think it'll have been Alex Kidd.
I don't know. It sounds
Alex
like
Kidd will have been Dobby's night.
good grief. That sounds like a bit of a good grief line of that, like.
You're thinking of Alex
I'm
Kidd.
thinking that Alex Kidd.
Yeah.
It was definitely Alex Kidd. In fact, last time I was on the podcast, did I say it about when I was talking about Marco? Alex Kidd pulled the headphones out the
You did.
the mixer that bad that the port like fell in. You couldn't get headphones. The mixer was knackered basically. So Laura May couldn't do a set after him. So Marco had to go on the decks, and he done the last hour with no headphones.
Oh, fucking yeah! Marco told this story as well, and he was bringing the tune in and beat matching it through the monitor.
You can see the BPM counter on the CDJ, so you can like sort of like get it a bit close and then just put it up, have a little listen. Oh, slow down. Slow down. Oh, too much. Sorted. You done mixing trance as well, which I would say is harder to mix in some of the genres I play.
Yeah.
And that was the night Good Groove come and Alex Kidd came and blocked the mixer.
Alex Kidd, not Alex K. Just remember that. So you were doing gigs and that together. I think I first seen you team up. So this was prior to the Scott Brown night. I seen you team up and you've done Hardcore Explosion in Alveston for Beachy.
There was a few of them. There was he'd done a few in town.
You can feel it Alveston.
Grapes. Was it Grapes?
Yeah, Scion in Grapes.
Yeah, and possibly a few others.
And then he did Royal Oak as well, which I'm not sure if he got any of the bigger names on in Royal Oak or not. I can't remember.
I don't even know if we did Royal Oak,
before-
did we, for BG?
Don't know, I can't mind. Don't like DJing Royal Oak, but
No, I don't like DJing in that either.
before we move on to Ulverston, I've done a few. Can remember. I'll slap you if you've forgotten about it. One of the nights we were DJing in a Vine Bar for Beach of Hardcore Explosion event.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think I do.
Do you want to tell the
I'll let you
story?
tell the story.
So I don't know if I was in the DJ box at the same time or it was just him, and I don't know if he was just standing there going through his wallet or it was actually on the decks.
No, I was on the decks.
Oh, were you on the decks?
I was on the decks. There's a photo somewhere.
He got a blowjob.
Did you?
I don't know who the last was. And all like that. But I actually just went in DJ box, whipped his pants down, just started noshing him off.
I thought about stopping and then, fuck it, just let it carry on.
What, you were still mixing?
Aye.
This is while he was on the decks, aye.
I think I'm sure Beachy or Maggie's or some yan's got a photo of it.
Right.
That's insane.
Afterwards...
Is that the DJ effect or was that just because you're a handsome lad?
I don't know.
It must be a bit of both.
And she's seen you on them decks and thought, having a piece of that. I couldn't wait to get home though.
I was like, dude, did you say that? Did you say that? No,
Like a
no,
little
see
kid.
what? Some lassos just come into DJ box, started noshing us off. I was like, how far missus? Where's she? Has she got a pal?
Class. I've heard some questionable stuff going like that before in clubs and stuff, but it's never been in the actual DJ box in front of everyone. Like,
Well, he had to finish the set off because I took a yan with us.
classy, class.
And well, there you go, do. I'm gone. What do you mean you're gone? Gone with lasso, man.
Preoccupied.
Sorted out. Fair enough, player.
You've never told us that again before, like, that's class.
So Beachy had a class idea of putting an event on through at Alveston, which is a terrible place to get to, might I add.
Yeah.
But
it's just a middle of nowhere, isn't it, really?
the roads are so bad. Anywhere from like here to Barra.
Yeah.
And right, so the hardcore bit was in like a basement.
Yeah.
Then above it was like your standard pub.
Yeah.
Then above that was accommodation.
The sun in, so yeah, it's like a big hotel but with a rave den underneath, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was mad being there at the rave beat, people wrecked off their heads and stuff, and then you'd maybe want to go to your room and get something or chill for 10, and it was like weird, like gone from like a rave, like sweatbox, like walking through a pub, like just normal people having a pint and that. Everyone's looking like they've just been dug up, so they've been dead 6 months. And to go upstairs to the rooms. Now, this wasn't intended, and it's not something normally like do when we stay in hotels and spots. But I am ashamed to say, as funny as a lot of it was, but we absolutely wrecked the spot.
Every single fucking room. I don't know how we got access to every single room, but we were in every single room.
So when you say wreck the spot, what did you do?
The telly was thrown out the window. Like, I walked into one of the bedrooms.
Was it? I don't remember the telly.
There was like, because it was a thin alley underneath, there was like a catch net in between to like stop stuff falling out.
I remember that.
Well, somebody decided to use that as a trampoline for the telly, and they were trying to like bounce it up and down.
Oh my god.
So there was that, and people kept losing the room keys. And
was it Coxie had the master key?
Coxie had the master key. We said, "You don't need a key. Step aside." So he just walked to the door, turned around, and just went boom. Door just flew over. No doubt, like probably like bust the lock or whatever like that. So then now no one needed a key anymore in case I lost them. They were just like building doors in and that.
I think there was like 6 cars of us lot went down, so we had like the entire building booked out, other than the like 2 rooms that Beachy and the lads had as well.
Yeah.
I think at one point like went to throw a lamp, like a vase, not a vase, a lampshade and that at someone or summit, but he was still plugged into the thing. And so I like threw it, like went like kicky, but then it just shot back because it's still like wired in and that. Then the lights were all out and everyone was going nuts, and then the wardrobe was pushed over. And Lettuce, instead of like if a wardrobe comes like falling towards you, what do? You put your hands out to like try and stop it on movie. He just like went to like try and stop it with his head. I woke up the next day with a pigeon on the bottom of the bed. Like
I come walking into the
windows
room.
open or something like that?
Yeah, the windows were wide open. I come walking into the room, and you had to sort of like walk into the room a few steps and then turn a corner to actually see the bed. And Doof's like sprawled out with the sheet half hanging off the bed. He's flat out, and there's just this fucking pigeon chilling right on the corner of the bed.
Snuggled right up to us.
Class.
Because that happened, and we went back home and told the rest of our pals, last weekend was belter. We ended up like trashing the spot, which none intended. I've kept the story very short because I could talk about Alveston for a while, but like we have much to discuss. But so keep it brief. When the second one come round, because we'd said to everyone how good of a time we had, and like we ended up wrecking the gaff and that.
We brought more people.
More people come, and then they had it in their heads to like, let's smash the spot up. When we were wrecking things, it wasn't on purpose because we wanted to damage things.
Except
like,
you just kicked the lampshade.
Things just happen. You have too much drink. Maybe
we might be merging the 2 nights together with some
maybe
of the
like
info.
too many other things. I don't know what that could be. Like, but accidents happen. What can I say?
Some lasso was going to kill you, wasn't she? I can't remember if she had a broken bottle or a pair of scissors or what it was, but I come into a bedroom and there was some lass trying to fly at you with something sharp and 3 people restraining her.
Blonde hair.
Aye.
I can't remember the nickname we had for her.
That's why, yeah.
She was horrible, like, And so, second time we went through, because everyone had in their heads that, like, oh, Gaff, wreck the spot, go wild and that. As soon as we got there, pretty much, like, not even put our bags down and, like, had a drink it out, someone punched a picture. And, like glass picture. And I was just like, you haven't even had a drink, like. And so, Spot got trashed again. Probably even like
it was definitely worse the second time.
No one was in the bedrooms anymore. Like people had got all the covers and the pillars were like camped out on the stairs, the middle of the stairs where like you go to your rooms and that's wrong. And after that second one,
someone punched a picture all of the.
After that second one, they stopped doing them for some reason.
Yeah.
They stopped us
I wonder
coming
why.
through. We're like,
Yeah.
but I'm still a bit puzzled, like, but. I'm gutted that the spot got trashed and the night stopped and we, after the fuss then, we put it across to people, it just like got it in their heads that they could just wreck the spot. Because I'm not for that, like, I'm not an arsehole. I like to look after like other people's properties, whether it's like a hotel I'm staying in or like, well, don't get us wrong, I will pinch you like a towel and like toiletries like any of an old person or like whatever, but like don't go around like damaging like.
I've got a mad story about staying in a hotel.
I've got 50.
As soon as I said them, that words, and all these other stories come to my head. But there was one. We went to fucking this is it the Langdale or somewhere? I've said it now. It's a Langdale in fucking Ambleside, and I took my missus there for fucking it was like Valentine's Day or something like that, and you know when you're in a fucking hotel room with bed and that, doing whatever. Anyways, somehow I got fucking.
No, what were you doing?
Mate, what wasn't I doing? But like,
good answer.
We claimed the fucking. I'm sure we claimed like the dressing gowns because they were like velvety, they were class. So right, we're having them. They were in the thing. And anyways, somehow she's gonna hate me for saying this, but like I don't even care. Somehow we got fucking. I got jizz on the wall, but it was like, do you know, like velvet wallpaper, like. So like.
That's still there.
Yeah, no, well, it's velvet. You can't get it out, so it was like we were scrubbing it with everything. And oh man, this was fucking 8 years ago now. Like,
that's still there, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it was. Oh, thinking about looking back at it, I was like, well, she was proper kicking off. You call me whatever. It's like scrubbing the wall, and it was like, as you said, it's velvet. Like, if you get, have you ever had like velvet trainers or not? Is it velvet I'm thinking of? It's like suede. Sorry, suede.
Yeah.
So it was like suede, like patterns on the wall, and it got into the suede. So like when you try and wipe it off with a towel, it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
So it was just a big thing. We didn't get charged for it, like, but you know, they just said about ruining hotel rooms. That's the worst I think I've done. But well, I went to fucking. This is another one. I went to Rave United in Leicester. I think it was either the Emporium or the O2.
Arcor.
Yeah. It's Arcor night. So I can't remember who was on. It was New Year's Eve. So all the big names are on really. It was good night like. Anyways, we went back and I might have even told this story on the podcast before, but we went back and she was lying there on the bed and she said, we'll order some food in, and that it was like fucking 4 in the morning or something like that. I said, I know what it is. So I went downstairs in this Premier Inn to go and wait for the food. She rang me and she was going, you need to get upstairs now. I says, what's wrong? She says, just come and have a look at this. I went up and we went into the room and she goes, I just laid down on the bed just to chill out a bit. I looked up and then there was a fire, like the fire alarms for smoking. So someone had covered it with a used Johnny. Oh, mate. But like it was still like there was still bits hanging from the. Oh, it was disgusting.
Grim.
So we got 4 in the morning. The poor lass on the till, she moved the rooms because it was still, as I said, there was stuff in it. But it went onto the bed. Like,
Well, you're not sleeping there, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Definite upgrade.
So,
Upgrade.
she gave us another room and she goes, oh, by the way, you can stay anywhere in the UK for free for one night. So obviously we saved for like a London trip where it's a lot more expensive.
Oh, definitely, aye.
Yeah.
Made,
I've had weird
maximise it.
experiences in hotels and that.
Funnily enough, I think we've been stood on the car park of that same hotel at like 4 a.m. after coming back from the Emporium.
Yeah, Emporium's a great club.
Glasby's retirement do or something like that. Where was it?
Yeah.
So
So I'm
many-
going to give all his records out.
Was
like-
it someone in Robbie's room had been smoking in the hotel room and set the thing off in the middle of the night? Or was that a different night down there?
Can't mind, pal.
Do you know what I like about there?
remember.
Everyone seems to stay in the same hotel when you go down there. It's always like the Premier Inns by the
By the
Emporium.
roundabout.
And I can't remember what it's like outside of Vivid. But I remember coming downstairs, heading to the Rave, and like all the artists and that was staying there as well. So like I was with I don't know if you know him or not. Like, do you know Rob IYF? Hardcore producer.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know him, but I know he
yeah.
got some of his tunes.
Aye, I think so.
Well, so there was me, him, my missus, a couple of lasses he was with, and who was the other one? Was it Rico? Have you had a DJ Rico? Power Song producer. We were all together. We came downstairs and it was like a meeting of everybody here. Like it was all the MCs were there, all DJs were there before and over. Nice camaraderie. It's like everyone was just excited. New Year's Eve. No one was just turn up and fucking off. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was there and they were there for the night.
Yeah.
So we went there and then I'm sure like Joey Wright had a room of his own doing like the hardstyle stuff or whatever.
Is he still Big Joy Riot?
I'm sure he's just done a Power Stomp album, hasn't he? Like a funded.
He said it'd been getting quite massive at one
he was
point,
doing
maybe
Destructive
like
Tendencies.
2018. something like that.
Destructive Tendencies went huge, didn't it? Like in Europe.
Right.
But fucking the Joey Riot thing, I think he's came back and he's done a Power Stomp album for Lethal Theory relaunch, and it's like a crowd funded
Loud
thing.
mentioned that there'd been some sort of a. Is it this Power Stomp 3 or something?
I have to be honest with you, I haven't heard any of the tunes on it out like that. But yeah, apparently he's back doing bits and bobs. But yeah, fucking great night there. Of choice, what's your preferred genre? Like, what's your go-to? Because you're more like Mackinnon, aren't you?
To mix, it would be Machina, because I just think it's the funnest thing to mix out of all genres. But to listen to maybe hip hop.
Hip hop.
Or if you want a dance music answer, trance.
Right, good
Or
answer.
transport, or like rave breaks, drum and bass, and some house. I'm picky on house, but
Do you want to name any more genres?
depends on the time.
We've almost named them all now.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
What about you?
Hundreds.
What's your go-to?
Probably hardcore.
Hardcore.
Probably.
Right. Is that for like mixing and for just casually listening as well?
If mixing more the old stuff, really.
Aye.
I can't get away with them 30-second intros right into the 3-minute breakdown.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but like a lot of producers started doing 16-bar intros and then not even like kicking in on the bass, it just goes straight into the break. It started to do it in bounce, but that didn't last very long.
Good.
And even this is another one as well. In house music, I was listening to a tune, an extended mix the other day, and it was in UK House Party on Spotify. So it's like it is a big. If you make it into there, it tends to be a big tune. And the full extended mix was 2 minutes 5 seconds. Like that's intro outro. Say 30 seconds on it. It's a minute long
Still
song.
scrolling through my list looking for the next tune by the time it's finished.
How mental is that though? Like 2 minute extended mix. I wouldn't like to see what the radio edit is, like maybe 59 seconds, something like that. No, it would be.
Yeah. 30-second clip.
It'd be literally like an 8-bar breakdown and then like maybe 32
Your first
bar.
quarter
Fucking,
of the
yeah,
first kick off.
mentally.
Usually, if I download like a fairly new hardcore tune, unless I immediately think of some creative way to actually mix with it, it's probably if I'm not playing that first, I'm probably not playing it.
I know exactly what you mean.
Even though the tune's probably brilliant, but if the start and the end are mixed out of shite, then I'm probably not that interested.
When I was playing a bit of hardcore, I used to like starting with Stonebank's tune, say like Ripped to Pieces or something like that.
He's probably my favourite of the newer people, like Stonebank.
Yeah, his melodies are
Do
amazing.
I know what Ripped to Pieces is?
I don't know if you know what that one is, but you'll know what some of his other tunes are. We've used them.
Oh, I know the name,
But like,
Stonebank. Yeah,
it's just got like a
class.
16 bar intro, a little fucking drum fill, and then it's into the break. So I used to just start with the little drum fill into the break because I think it's pointless just mixing 16 bars and then drop it. I'm more of a producer than a DJ, and I'll be honest with you, but as a DJ, the fun aspect of it's not there for me. If you're just mixing drums into a break, it's not funny. It's like
not getting enjoyment out of it. It's not like a good mix.
I like mixing, say, trance, for instance, old style trance, where you get like a good 2.5 minutes of.
It's hard house for me.
Yeah, I'd also
I said Machina before because it's there's a lot more of that.
Yeah.
With samples and stuff, but with hard house, it's just nice, long, smooth mixes.
Yeah, you can get melodies and counter melodies against each other and stuff like that. I think that's amazing.
Well, in the mixing bars, there isn't really much melody going on. Be like nice stabs and hoovers, and so it's just perfect for nice long mixes.
Aye. So right, we'll move on then. I wanted to ask you about you were doing. You told me about it not so long back. The Night in Whitehaven you did. So it was like DOOF and REEDY's Hardcore in Haven or something like that.
Oh right, I can't remember the actual name of
was that right?
event.
You'll know.
I can't honestly remember. I can vaguely remember being there and doing it, but I can't remember any of the circumstances. He's manager. He's team manager. I just show up and do it.
At the time, my YouTube had sort of exploded a bit, and was starting getting like a good fan base.
Yeah.
And I was getting comments off people all the time that I should put something on. On YouTube, the subscribers, they would say like, "Oh, you should have your own event," but like on Facebook, off like local people, I'd messages or when I spoke to people, saying like I should trial my own thing, and I can't remember the manager of the club.
Gash.
But he's Stu.
Yeah, Stu.
Yeah, good bloke. Shout out Stu. Like
He watches these, by the way.
Right, well, shout out Stu, respect mate. So I had a bit of a crack with him, and he was interested on the idea of trialing a night where me and him will just come through and just do the decks for the full night, and we'll maybe like fetch someone with us to do an hour. I don't know if we did or not. But I thought, right, I'll have a go at just doing a night, because with the YouTube channel success, any hardcore mix I done like we done it together. I wouldn't do a hardcore mix by myself. Unless I was like with REEDY. And so we put an event, but I didn't really put much effort into it. Everything was crap really. The flyer was made from like a really good graphic designer. He's made loads of good art for me and for other labels and events and whatever. But I wasn't really happy with what it sent us.
Did the date not land on somewhere else as well?
There was I don't know, there was some sort of problem, and like we were pushed for time and things, so I was just like, I just had to get the artwork, commissioned artwork, and print the flyers, posters, whatever. Not as much time got put into that as what I'd have liked, and because I was doing other work and stuff, I I didn't do the social media marketing like what I should have done, and it was minimal effort, and because of the minimal effort, it wasn't like a massive turnout for the night.
Yeah.
Can't remember what door numbers were. There was like a few in. It looked like half like busy at one point, but it wasn't like any other rave that I've put on where it's been sold
Decent.
out, like packed out crowd.
Yeah.
But it was nice to just do something for us. Like, I'm sure you'll appreciate that with having your own label and event and things, rather than getting booked to play somewhere else, and maybe being, in the case of the situation with the Dirty Donkers lads, they want us to play the Pendulum song. They wanted a Monkey Classics, which is understandable.
That's what they're after, isn't it?
But it's nice to have freedom and just us two be able to play whatever we wanted.
Do you want to play some drum and bass throughout the night on that, Jan?
What's that?
We'll have played a load of drum and bass throughout the night at some point
probably
on the
like,
night.
probably.
I want to ask you about a thing as well. That you obviously talk about promoting nights and that. You did you do like some sort of vibe night? You were talking off camera.
Ended up doing a couple. There was one I done with MC Burgos from Dirty Donkers, and I'd done another one with a pal of mine. Both successful nights, good numbers. In fact, the one in particular that me and Berg done, the first one, it was the best rave and like night out working I'd had in ages.
I remember that. Honestly,
there wasn't many events on. There was now happening at the time. Fusion had been shut.
I'm sure when I was talking,
me and Berg
with
were
someone,
talking about it, and we're just like, right, how are them? We'll.
Well, I remember talking about it, right, and with someone, and I was thinking, there's been nothing in years at this point. Like, it'd been, we'll say 2009, because like 2010, the scene was on its arse. I mean, and I'm talking locally as well, like recession and whatnot. It's feel the back end of that. 2011, I had to go put on events, not special, but there was maybe one or two events that year that were all right. 2012, you did that vibe night, and I remember there was actual hype again about the music and that. You know what I mean?
It's hard putting a night on.
I thought I was just going to turn up and do my usual first hour to nobody being there, and I sort of looked round from behind the decks because there was this huge stand that we had at the time for 4 decks.
Where was this at?
It was in level 2.
Level 2, that's the one. I was trying to
looked
before
round.
they turned Electric Soup with the top floor.
Yeah.
I was in the big room downstairs.
Looked round about 20 minutes in. The full place was fucking rammed.
Yeah.
The first one got
good lineup in that as well. Like,
got stupid numbers. Yeah. One lesson I learned was, for 1 hour we paid for a DJ and 2 MCs, and that was £600 that we'd spend for just 1 hour
of the night. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for any up and coming promoters out there that's just getting into the game, don't spend 600 bar in just 1 hour, because although it was a great set there, the DJ and the 2 MCs back to back, you could have just one of the MCs on, and then one of them on a different hour, and got 2 hours now worth of the DJ probably wouldn't have minded like doing another set, but you'd be able to save money, and it wouldn't be any like cost to your customers. They're still seeing the artist and stuff. So that was one lesson learned, to like spend like too much money in just like 1 hour of like the full. I don't know how long the night was, but maybe like 6 hours.
What I used to do, this is just like a promotion thing that I used to do. I don't know, I imagine other people do it, like, because especially now where there isn't as much talent coming through as there used to be. But what I used to do is I used to put, say, like a good established artist on, say like if he was a DJ with an up and coming MC, or vice versa, put an established MC on with somebody, a DJ I thought had potential, and to sort of elevate their name up as well. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play to you.
Yeah.
But
No-
and at the
no
same
one
time, you're
would do
spreading the
that.
cost of the event as well, so it's a bit, you win-win both ways really.
There's no one that would do that. Like, fair play.
Do you know what I
to you.
mean though? Like, so like say I had an MC booked and I seen a DJ, I thought, oh, he's gonna do alright him, but he's not sort of there with his name just yet. Put them on and do it that way. Same vice versa with things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I found that you keep people in as well, because like, for instance, you could have an established MC on. People will come to see that, and then afterwards you've got an established DJ on. Oh, well, fucking hell, he's on, so we'll stick around for him. And whereas if you put it all in 1 hour, I always used to find in Whitehaven, for instance, I booked. I can't remember who I'd booked up in GL3. Maybe was it the Hicksy night? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway. So Hicksy was on, and I remember it was rammed, getting busier and busier and busier up until Hicksy coming on. And then after his set, it just sort of mellowed out. And I was like,
I'd stress when that happens. As soon as the special guest's been on, then the dance floor leaves.
It was still busy, but this was rammed. This was like wall to wall. But like, I was like,
how you
want
want
if it stayed a little bit longer.
I
felt sorry for the DJ who was on after him. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But like, it was just a bit like, oh, do you know what I mean? It's not a full dance floor, and it probably never played to a crowd that big, but it's not the point, is it?
Yeah, of course.
We'll call it the vibe. But yeah, like that's why I like to spread it out through the night.
Funny story from the vibe night we were just on about. I'm not sure if it was the first one or second one, but me and him were flying.
Oh, it was the first one.
Was it the first one?
It was the first one. It was whichever one Chrissy J done.
First one.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Flying at 3 AM on a like Friday night or whatever it was, blowed up.
We'd it's all about blue cheese, like cannabis, like smashed on that. And so we're at my house, got all the flyers, like the posters, if you got out bits and pieces, and set off uptown to go and plaster them everywhere. And beforehand, because we were smashed, and I was like taking ages in my house, like getting everything together, he fell asleep. Okay. And so got the old Sharpie out, drew on him, a Nazi thing on his forehead, and
you sort of flared like that.
I can't remember, like it was night time. It wasn't for the day because I was just putting posters up everywhere, so I couldn't have got away with it for the day. And so I walked up down. We went into the Vulcans Park first and laid everything out and planned where we were gonna go, and I did all prepped. So we had as least to do in town centre with all the cameras as least as possible to do. So got everything ready, then went uptown and just like hammered the spot in posters. He's walking out with this Nazi thing on his head.
Class.
I've got a picture in it and a video. After we've done this podcast, I'll ask him in private, and if he approves, I'll maybe send you a picture somewhere.
No,
you can like put the screenshot in. And
it's coming on now. I've just made a note of it there while we're looking at the time.
It's maybe coming on now.
If REEDY approves of it, it's coming on now. It's coming on now. Right. Nah, class. So what was I going to say? Is there anything, any gigs that sort of stand out to you that I haven't mentioned that you've thought, oh, it's maybe worth saying about? Because I've just gone over what I'll tell you what, here's one. Then, do you know when you first did a gig for me in working, can you remember me picking yours up? And I had someone in the back, I had another DJ I'd picked up, and I had a fucking sound system and that in the boot, and you was all had to squeeze in. Can you remember that? I picked one of yours two from Annie P, I think.
I can vaguely remember.
We both lived there at one point. I've lived with him for a bit. Then I had a house right next door to his, and then
that was fun.
There's another lad a couple of doors up. I lived with him for a bit. Shout Brett Carter.
But yeah, and you all squeezed. I think I had like a fucking, I don't know, like a Peugeot 206 or something at the time. And it had a sound system in, but the boot was wide open, and then he was all squeezed in and fucking tried to get to town. Cause I think, I can't remember who was doing opening set or whatnot, but I think we needed a sound system for room 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time I met you.
I think I can remember that actually now.
Yeah.
Was that when you had... Was it that when you had Hardcore Explosion in the back room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember that. Did you have jams on that night as well?
Possibly. I did 2 nights then. I know I had him on one of them. I just can't remember which one it was on. He was on. But yeah, it possibly could have been. Might have even been in the back of the car. I can't remember. But
I think I've got vague flashes of like a night in Elliott's where Hardcore Explosion was on in the back, and there was literally just us there.
Yeah, it was dead. As I said, I was shy promotion that like didn't do much.
It's quite hard to do, and it requires so much work.
I was just finding my feet. I think like it was like I think it was like the 3rd event I put on.
It takes a lot of events to perfect your technique in advertising promotion.
Yeah,
it is really hard. Before I go on to talk about maybe my favourite, most memorable set, second might be the Alveston Hardcore night. I think pretty sure it was one of them. It was New Year's Eve. Did we do the 12 o'clock?
Yeah, we did.
I'm not sure if it was like before or after, but
no, I think we did.
We done like the midnight set on New Year's Eve, and it was just nice to DJ at. So you can do the Happy New Year's with different one. I can't remember what song I played, but
we played.
I think did it have a U2 New Year's Day?
You played that, and then I think I played Concrete Angel after it.
New Year's Day.
Class.
Right. So that was a really good set. I've got a particular. I don't know about him. While I'm doing what I'm going to do now, I can tell you about his favourite set. But when I come back, I'll tell you about like what I would say is like my favourite set. Being on the decks.
Go on, what's yours, really?
What I was going to say is, sorry mate, could I jump on toilet? I'm busting.
Yeah, go just sit upstairs.
Yeah, carry on talking or pause
You
the
built
podcast.
up so much suspense to that.
And
go on, mate. You just go. I'll talk to you about it, mate. We've got 2 guests.
is there any more bevs?
Yeah, I'll get you a beer as well.
What a good host.
Yeah.
What a good host.
Not just
Top
a pretty face.
host.
I'll sort you one out when you come back down. But what was I going to say? So what was your favourite gig that you've done?
I don't know, there's been a couple, but I would say probably my favourite with Daft Arse, I think it was a Dirty Donkers reunion where me and him played like the first 2 hours without an MC.
Right, I can remember that. Was
I'm
that in
sure that was
Grapes?
another one. No, that was still in level 2, I think. I think. Or was it somewhere else? I don't know, Burger, somebody would know better.
I can remember coming in to Grapes and used to were on first, I remember.
Might have been.
Because you did that, and then there was a one for charity you did in level 2, wasn't there?
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I think I know the charity one.
Okay, right.
Me and him played the first 2 hours with like no MC, and he was absolutely rammed again straight away at the start of the
like
night.
Vocal bounce and that, and
just all classics, like basically what Alex K tune can I find in my wallet sort of thing.
Excellent.
Because obviously there's other folk on after it. You don't want to start playing everything, do you?
Yeah. But so why was it so good? Was it just because you had the 2 hours of like freedom?
Yeah, because usually me and him are both on for an hour. We only get like 3 or 4 mixes a piece each, sort of thing.
Well, to be honest with you, them Dirty Donkers nights were always alright, weren't they? Like, they were like really like good turnouts, and everyone was always up for like, I know it sounds daft, but like usually around here, it's usually just like the vocally clubland anthems.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the Dirty Donkers lot were a bit more grittier. Like they like the. So the best way to describe it would be you could have like an Ultimate Energy Alex K as like a commercial thing, but they liked say Go DJ by Alex K, where it was a bit more like pumping and what you would call MC tunes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that they had a good niche around here, didn't they? Well, I think so anyways.
One of the other ones would have been. It wasn't even a proper set. It was when we were down at them nights at Barra that used to be on the boat.
Yeah.
Dave Coates' night.
Right.
And Dave Coates sort of fucked off somewhere for an hour, and today just managed the decks for us for an hour and sort of left him 10 minutes. I think we were playing bounce and one thing. Let him get away for about 10 minutes. I was right in Hard House at the time, so I played like 25 minutes of Hard House while he was away doing whatever he was doing.
How did that go down? Like, because
there was one guy came out from the middle of the class. That's amazing, mate. Awesome. You've been my night. I was like, I didn't care about anybody else on the dance floor after that. I was like, I'm playing for you, pal.
I remember playing in. It was one of my own nights in TJ's, and it was last hour. And I was basically you have to keep the crowd there. You've got to keep it vocal. Yeah. So we're there playing away, and one of the lads came in, I know, from St. B's, and he's like, "I'm not really into this, pal." I says, "I know." He likes tidy weekenders, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He says, "Play some Hard House," and I remember his face. But on the dance floor, it was starting to quiet down. There was maybe about 40, 45 people in, maybe, and he seen me. He obviously knows his tunes and that, and I kept bringing in like shots of Screwdriver.
Yeah.
Rachel Auburn. So I was bringing in shots of that, and his face lighting up. It's quite a heavy kick drum on it as well, in comparison to like the Clublandy stuff.
Yeah.
So I brought that in, and as soon as that dun 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 dun, honestly, same track again as the boat. He come right up to us like, "You've made my night, pal." I don't know how everyone else liked it, you know, as I say, but yeah, like. People who like Hard House like Hard House.
That boat was weird because there was like a bit of a dance floor right in front of you, and then there was the bars down the left and right hand side, and then there was stairs in the middle, so you couldn't see from the DJ box all the way to the back of the building, but there was like 3 separate different dance floors along the length of the boat, and like most of the people were in the middle.
Aye.
And you couldn't actually see them, but this one guy came out from the middle like, "This is amazing, pal."
Class. Somewhere I never went was the boat.
Banner.
Yeah.
Same.
So
That was when I was basically a chauffeur and Andy Kay around.
Yeah.
It'd have been good crack. I wouldn't have minded going back in the day.
So go on then, tell us your favourite set. You've left us in anticipation.
We were once both asked to do a Dirty Donkers set.
I've just named the same one, I think.
Yeah. A 2-hour warm-up.
Yeah, and we just there was no MCs on.
No.
Was
that in Vinebar or was that in level 2?
Level 2.
So it's a charity night then, alright.
It was the main main room in level 2. And we were doing the warm up first couple of hours, just playing whatever we wanted, really. And we didn't plan any set or have an idea of anything of what we were gonna play. We just took our CD wallets and just winged it. And it was a little battle between us.
Outdoing each other with tunes.
Aye. And the absolute dickhead, because he knows I absolutely thrive off it, is...
I forgot about that, actually.
Sasumi, Feel the Tribute.
Good tune.
I love that. I love mixing it. And bugger played it. And as soon as he dropped out mixing, he like looked at me, because he knew I'd be like looking at him and that.
Did you know,
shaking my head.
In my bounce CD, I've got 2 copies of every CD, and I'm nearly sure he had the other CD in his hand.
Class.
I think I was maybe even just going to play it.
All about that.
Mixing it out, I was devastated about that. But yeah, it was class that we had no boundaries, and we were just trying to like outdo
each other
on the decks like that. And the crowd, brilliant. The Dirty Donkers lads, they always like get a good crowd pull, good numbers, live.
Right, we'll end this section. We'll be back in 2 minutes. So back for part 2 of the podcast, and this is people's questions. Obviously, having 2 guests on, we'll have to get 2 answers off you if that's all right.
Yeah, after the questions, before I end the podcast, I've got a story to tell.
Well, go on.
Because I didn't tell it last time I was
I'll
there.
Remind you.
And it's just fitting with REEDY being here with us.
I'll remind you. So first question is, Evening, Brad. Would you ever make more hardcore, like the bits you were doing in 2017-ish? Also, who is your favourite UK hardcore producer right now? And that's from Andy HTID. I'd probably make more hardcore if I had more time. That's, in short, the answer. It wouldn't be like when I was making then. I'd probably try and be more progressive with it, maybe a bit more euphoric stuff. Favourite producer? I've always had a soft spot for Scott Brown. Scott Brown's always been the boy
That's what
for
I
me.
would say for hardcore.
Yeah, but then I like Dougal and Gamma's. Like they did some great stuff.
Fracas and Darwin.
Fracas and Darwin,
They
great lads as well.
mentioned.
I did a tune with them about 3 years ago.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's
Pardon me.
very talented lads. They like very good.
I would have said either Scott Brown or Fracas and Darwin. Like,
Fracas and Darwin are one of them people as well. I know that they've got the label Hardcore Underground, but I sometimes feel like that their sound's a bit too underground for that. They should get more credit than what they get. I think.
Definitely.
But it's
They're
just
like
one of
the
them.
new
things.
Above and Beyond. In
They
the
but
hardcore
they touch
world.
on everything the way. Like so some of the stuff that they were showing me, there was like they were doing loads of freeform, loads of UK hardcore. They'd even do bits like power stompy bits and that as well, and then. And like they've got such a range. They do like some really good breakbeat hardcore as well. Obviously, if you listen to the albums, you'll see the variation of what they do.
Yeah.
But fucking really, really quality.
I'll have to have a look at some of the other genre things that they've
Quality
done.
stuff.
there's bits and bobs on some of the albums that I've got it on.
Right.
Just bits and bobs though, really.
I like that. Was Diversions? Is that the name of one of them?
Yeah.
Diversions. I think it's my favourite. Jan.
Is that the one with Free From Form on it?
Free From Form. Yeah. That is a tune. That.
He got me into freeform. We ended up doing a mix at some point, but he got me. I did before, but like
It's probably my favourite of our mixes.
And really like.
So go on then. Who's your favourite UK hardcore producer?
Probably Scott Brown of all time, probably.
Go on then. Seeing as though we've got the same answer. What's your
We've
favourite
all
tune?
said Scott Brown.
What's your favourite Scott Brown tune?
Favourite Scott Brown tune?
I think he stayed relevant for so long that he had all the different, like he was part of the bounty techno sort of happy hardcore scene where he done like Now Is the Time, stuff like that. Then he done the sort of 2000s hardcore where it was very much Scott Brown hardcore. It was like the euphoric melodies. I'm thinking of stuff along the lines like Rock You Softly, stuff like that. And then even now he's still the new stuff. He does his quality. So he's been around for such a long time.
Yeah.
And covered so
Still
many
a step ahead
styles.
of his game as well.
I would have said either Neckbreaker or This Is How We Do It.
This is how we do it. It's a banging tune. Banging tune.
All tunes mentioned good.
What was that? I like. Is it All About You? I like
Yeah, that's probably my favourite of his vocally ones.
I love that tune. I thought that was.
I prefer
great.
that to Elysium because Elysium went fucking crazy when was it Ultra Beat fucking put vocals over it.
Yeah. Good. That's a good melody. That though.
Reminds me of Fusion, that song.
Right. Next one is someone's put. When are you bringing an event back to town? I used to love the stuff you put on. Had a variety of Italian bounce, hard house, and hardcore. Class days matter. Also, what is your perfect all Cumbria lineup for an event? You've got 4 hours, go, and that's from Sai. 4 hours of all Cumbrians. I'd have to like sort of. I would cover all genres. I wouldn't just keep to one genre. I think that me personally. Do you know what I mean?
Same. I'll agree.
But there's a lot of untapped talent in Cumbria. I think, but like
Definitely.
not untapped because they are known within sort of our
But
sort
they're
of circle. They're not known
known
outside
enough.
Of it, yeah.
Andy K, prime example.
Yeah.
He's one of the most talented DJ in a full country, never mind Cumbria.
He's very good. He's a good producer and he's a good DJ as well.
He make his own tunes and he's class on decks. Doesn't matter what genre he's mixing. He's absolutely mint on decks. I
Yeah.
wish I was as good as Andy on decks and never mind the scratching.
So I'd have him on like hour 3, and I'd probably get him to play this new stuff that he's doing. I think he's nailed that sound. It's like hard house meets hard trance meets techno. It's really like a fucking amalgamation of everything. It's quality. First hour, I'd probably go something like Italian or something like that. Italian DJs.
That's a really good idea for a starter set.
Yeah.
People walking into the club here and nice.
I'm not sure I'd have on. Who would you have on?
Piano.
Reggae,
Might
if
you,
you're putting Italian on.
Yeah.
Who did you use?
Reggae, if it was Italian.
Chris Rigg. Chris Rigg, yeah.
What I'd maybe do is I'd do Chris and I'd do... I quite rate that Gary Kay from Carlisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them two
I
back to back.
thought he was
Kick
quite
things
good,
off.
like.
Have you done a podcast with him?
With
Gary Kay?
It's in the pipeline.
I was going to
It's
say,
just
I'd
finding
make it happen.
The time. It was
yeah.
meant to happen in the last Sanctuary event. I was meant to go through,
I
but
don't think I know him personally, like, met him, like,
yeah.
over the
But
years
he's
or whatever.
done some.
But I rate him as a DJ.
Yeah.
And I know he's putting an Italian event on at the minute.
Last
over,
night,
like,
last night wasn't it? Italian. What's it called? The Italian job.
Can't mind.
That's what it is.
I was meant to go at the first one, but he ended up getting cancelled. Something to do
Yeah.
with lockdown, COVID, like whatever.
So and then second hour I'd probably got Bounce. Bounce wise, I don't know who I put on.
Yourself?
No, but you can't put yourself on, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Dirty Donkers.
Is a limit or jams, I would have said probably.
If it's local lads,
Yeah,
you,
probably.
you couldn't
Yeah.
pick better people.
Nah,
than
sorry,
Dirty
can't put
Donkers.
outsider here. I'm going Zuni, right? Still
I was
Cumbria.
thinking
Say
about
from Barra?
Zuni, yeah.
Yeah, from Barra. So Zuni from, and I might get the Dirty Donkers lads on the mic then. That's for me.
Yeah,
Third hour.
nice compromise.
Third hour, I'd probably go for maybe Andy and Millsy back to back.
Playing what?
Play
Whatever the hell they want.
whatever they want. But it'd be like sort of moving on from bounce up like hard house.
Yeah. I'd
so-
rather play hard house and.
And then last hour, I'd probably go hardcore. Hardcore around here, who do I know? Obviously there's used to. I might just put used to on last for a hardcore set, definitely. But what about? Is there any hardcore MCs in Cumbria? I don't know.
None.
If there is, I don't know. Oh, and for the first hour as well with that Italian set,
Yeah.
I'd put Frenzy on. I like Frenzy. I think he's a good Italian MC. Do you know? Can you remember him?
Friends with.
Are you Cumbrian?
Cumbrian lad.
I know the name. Does he do Madison's?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I think I've met him.
Or in fact, I put yours lot on last, but to do hardcore and Machina, and I'd stick Aki D on the mic for last hour.
Good
It's all Cumbrian lineup that.
Akio needs to do more.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, he's
there
coming
was
on
an
the
event
podcast
not
at
too
some
long
point.
ago that he was meant to be doing, but I don't know why he didn't do it with what he was busy with or whatever. But I was gutted when he didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
But don't ask you, Aki D, sort it out.
He's coming
Get
on
back
here.
on the microphone.
He's coming on here, and I'm gonna get
West
him.
Cumbrian needs to hear your voice at raves.
I've got to get him to come on, and I remember him posting. This must have been a few years ago now. He had like a rhyme book and that, so I'm gonna get a picture of that to get on while he comes on and have a look through that and that. And he had a little rhyme book when he was. He said he found it. I think he found it at his mum's house or somewhere.
I thought he threw it out.
I don't know. Maybe he did.
I was pretty sure that he threw it out because I'd have bought it off him.
But definitely, honestly,
Well, the memories.
just to give him it back 5-10 years later when he realises how important it is and how much of a bad idea it was to throw it away.
But,
I hope he
yeah.
hasn't thrown it away and he has got it. Because there's loads of rhymes in there. I've looked at it once or twice, and there's things in there that like he's never said before.
you just never really got around to doing it.
Yeah. But there's one rhyme in particular. I think it's Becky Kenna will never forget you. I think it's that rhyme, but
Can I ballistics back?
there's a massive story. There's a massive story. That's two of our good pals passed away like when younger years ago. Like, R.I.P. Shout Becky and Kenna. well, Aki wrote a rhyme, but there was a massive story, and he didn't used to say the story. There was just like a little segment he used to say.
I think he might get away with that now because that's where MCs have went. They've went down the lyrical sort of doing like 32, 64 bar things rather than because if you listen
Like MC Stomping, just says a line.
Like, phrases
and
and maybe like an 8 bar thing.
Spells his name out like 20 times.
Hey mate, it works.
A song. That's my favourite MC.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I'm not blasting him here, like, not at all. Like,
tell us your story, come on.
Stomping actually. Oh, easy, pal. Stomping actually started maybe not writing rhymes, but one of the last times I heard him, he said something new.
I know,
it was like
I've heard
a rhyme, and I'd like him not to do that because Stomping's just best when he just says
Does the hits.
Yeah. No, it's a nostalgia
spits
act,
out
but
the classics.
and I say that in the most nice way. People want to see it. It's not as if you're a nostalgia act who people's bored of.
Not at all.
So, yeah, a nostalgia act that's thing. So come on, let me get this story out of you. What's this story you're holding out on? He said, I'll tell you in a minute.
What were we talking about?
You said when we come back, I've got one more story for you going into here, and you didn't tell it on the last podcast.
Oh, right, that was it. It was how Monte started for me.
Go on.
Because, right, I think when I first heard Monte, when I say Monte, is some tunes made by the lads that signed to the label and created the Monte Music label. And I was maybe living in Newcastle at the time, 2010 or something maybe. And scrolling through the internet, listening to new songs, going through the rabbit hole and whatever, then come across this Monte Music, these new tunes. And I was like, oh, new Monkey stuff. Not like new Monkey, but new Monkey stuff. So, press play, had a flick through, didn't like it.
Right.
Didn't like it. I was like, there was like one or two tunes. I was like, it's kind of catchy, but nah, not a fan. It wasn't the new Monkey that I was used to and loved.
A lot of people like that with bounce. They'll just listen to the classics and then if they hear out new, it's just like, it's not like it used to be. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like,
I fobbed it off. I just like, enough for me. And then a bit of time passed. Going down the rabbit hole again one night, come across the tunes, had a little listen, and maybe a couple more like grabbed us, or one that maybe perked my ears up the first time, and now I really liked it. I'm like, some like good tunes here and whatever. So then I very started slowly listening to the releases, subscribe to the SoundCloud, whatever, like started listening to all the songs and that, and started getting into it a little bit like, and then I'm sitting in his living room. I don't even know if you were there at the time, but there's me, possibly him, and another lad, and a couple of lasses, and the lasses are like, oh, we're going to Newcastle shopping at the weekend. Do you know if there's any good raves on?
Right. Oh, so it's all starting to line up then, isn't it?
And Monte, we're having I don't know if it's the first or second rave.
Yeah.
In a little Liquid, I think it's called, because there's a massive club, Liquid Envy, that's like shut down now, unfortunately. Unreal venue. And there's like a little one above you. And Lassie's like, go and go shopping, but we want to go to a rave at the night time. I was like, well, in fact, it was the second one, because I think that's when they had the first special guest, and it was a bloke called DJ Ruboy from Spain. And Ruboy is like the Kenny Hayes of Spanish. He's like made all. He's under a million different aliases.
right, okay.
But like, he's engineered for
everyone.
A lot of people, and like, there's so many songs just made by this one bloke, Ruben Monero, I think it's called.
Oh yes, I do know that is. Yeah.
Right, and so I'm pretty sure it was second Monte event, and he was on. So I'm having a look through Facebook trying to find an event for the lassies. And I'm like, oh, there's this new thing. It's called Monte Musica, and they've got a really, really good special guest on from Spain, and it's a new Monkey sort of night. He'll be playing all like new Monkey tunes, and if I was going to a rave, I would definitely like go to that. It looks class. So then the lassies were like, why don't you come with us? And me and the other couple of lads that were sitting there, were you in the living room at this point, or were you like somewhere else or something?
Don't know, possibly.
I don't actually
I feel like
know.
I went to that Road Boy event though.
No, you went to one afterwards.
I
but
only
no,
went to a couple of them,
you
but I can't
didn't-
remember
you didn't
which
go,
ones.
You didn't go to the first, no, because it was me, Glenn, shout out Glenn, and Kong, shout out Kong, and I think out the lassies it was Jess and Jade.
That was when she was christened Battle Axe.
This
Battle
is how the
Axe.
name Battle Axe started.
Right.
Right, so there was I won't say a Battle Axe yet. So there was Jess and Jade. Shout out Jess and Jade.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, like come with us and that, and me and Glenn or Kong, whoever's in the living room, like, could be up for that and that, like. And so next, I think we were setting off the next day, and we destroyed the lassies' shopping thing. The shopping wasn't happening. We were just going there for a rave,
Right.
and so the lassies who were meant to be going shopping, they didn't even bother. We just we drove through. Went to the travel lodge where the other lassies had went on the train to do the actual shopping. Went to the travel lodge, like met them, and everyone got sorted. And went to the club. And the lassies were going nuts at the other ends. So if you didn't even bother like coming shopping with us today, and like you made us jump on a train by ourselves, and you only bothered about this rave and that. Right, just not saying anything. I'll leave you to discussing amongst yourselves, lassies. And so, anyways, right, get to the club, class. One of our pals was very intoxicated by this point. She was just like sitting on the stage and like swaying, and me and Batlack, Jade, me and sensible Jade, were like, oh, I should maybe take her back to the hotel. She's a bit worse or whatever. And someone was like, oh, no, like, give her a pill and like sober her up a bit. Like, it was like, Brittany will stop her being drunk and she'll be flying, like sober her up and that.
Or kill
so
her.
we're like, oh, great. No, one day you wouldn't do that in that situation. Unless they were like allergic to ease or something like that, but we knew she wasn't.
Pharmaceutical doctor right there.
I'm a doctor. Dr. Chris
Steve Van Doofeltube.
JQM. The JQM means dual quest master, but it's a different story. It's a different story for a different day. I'll try and keep this brief. And so someone gave the lass a pill, and it wasn't like sobering up or whatever. And so we're gonna have to take her in a taxi. So me and Jade got Jess, went in taxi, took her back to the hotel.
Aye.
And then while we're in the taxi going there, coming back, we're going to call off the rest of the people in the club. And they were like, oh, we're all going to go now. And we're like, wow, what's going on? And someone else had like been sick or something, and they were just wanting to get out of there. And Jade said to me, like, what you want to do? I want to like go and find them, or do you want to like go back to the hotel? And I was like, well, I come here to rave. Like, I was only in there an hour before, like, we needed to take her home or back to the hotel or whatever. Like, I was kind of wanting to enjoy myself. She's like, oh, I'm so pleased you've said that, because that's what I want to do. Like, I didn't come through here to go girls shopping. I could do that online. I wouldn't come through the rave and that. And so this was the start of me and Batlack's bonding. And so went back to the club, had a belter night. One of the other lads had got lost from the one other lad we had with us, and he'd been like walking over fields from miles away from a supermarket, trying to get a 24-hour drink to get back to the city centre. When he got to the club, I bumped into me and Jade. It's like, oh, I'm so pleased to see you. I've been walking around miles and that for hours and that. And had a really good night. And then got a taxi, went back to the hotel, went to walk in and that. Could take your names and whatever. And because the lassies had like booked this hotel room and we were just like going to sneak in and like stop in their room and that. So me and the other two lads, we weren't prepared for this. We didn't have a room and that. And so we couldn't get into the hotel. And then I was just like, oh, well, I'll get a room then. How much for the room? No, we're all fully booked. Like, you can't get a room. So what you saying? Like, I can't sleep in this building, not even in my friend's room that's being paid for. No, can't allow it. So like, oh no. So we had to go in car. Like the lads skinned up a joint to try and like relax or whatever. There was like a couple of cans in the car. I was sitting drinking them, and Jade, she was like, oh well, I'm not going back to the room to like go to bed. I'll just chill with yous in the car. We'll have like a drink and a crack and that. I was like, good lass and that. She's like, oh yeah, I'll go up to the room. The lasses will be asleep now. I'll pinch all the drink and fetch you back down.
Class.
I was like, awesome. So she potters off, goes into the hotel, gets the drink and that. And then when she comes outside, comes from the car, and she's like, Doof, we forgot. I'm like, forgot what? The lasso that had a pill to try and sober up. Well, we'd forgot about her, that she was in the hotel and like wrecked and that. So when Jade's went in there for the drink, she's obviously found Jess like wrecked and that. And so she ended up coming out and we were just sitting in the car, absolutely bouncing tunes for hours. Just while we were waiting for the driver to sober up so we could like drive down. Anyway, all the other lasses in the hotel, they just come down by themselves. And so we're just sitting in the car park for ages. Jade's lining up bottles for me to like throw stones at and smash them just for like stuff to do, try and kill time. Tunes are bouncing. And then we kept running out of drink and so I was like, Jade, any more drink in the rooms and that? She was like, there's like none in mine, but I can't check the other lassies. So she went like on a missions, come back with more drink. I was like, oh, sound. She was like, oh, they didn't have none in the other room, but I managed to get it off someone else. I was like, oh,
legend.
Sound. And then we ended up drinking that, and I was like, oh, I could do some more drink. And I was like, fancy going back in, try and get some more drink, Jade, and that. So what else? What do you think I am? It's like, you're a bloody battle axe. There wasn't even any drink before when you went, but here we are. You've like fetched them and that. Right, no worries, Doof. I've got this. So went in and there. She's just knocking on every door in the hotel. Have you got any drink? Next door, have you got any drink and that?
Fucking hell.
Come out with 2 carrier bags, ramming full of the stuff, and I was like, you've definitely earned the title battle axe now.
That's where the battle axe came from.
To finish the story, when we I might get in trouble saying this.
Go on, just say it.
When we got down, we're all chilling in mine, ran out of drink again, and we were saying, oh, we need to go to Tesco's, get some more drink and that. And by this point, we'd spent all our money, like everyone was broke and that. I had a bank card on the side. It was a new card in the envelope, hand send the pin sort of thing. I was like, oh, yeah, I've got a new card, do you? And like shopping up and I was like, oh, he hasn't been activated. I was like, oh, you just need to use it to activate it. And she was like, well, what's the pin? I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, it's a new card, and I just take that. You'll be all right, and now you'll survive. You battle axe. I have faith in you. And so, God knows how she done this, but her and someone else went to Tesco with my bank card, with not even signed on the back, no pin number, no now, and then she come back with 2 Tesco bags full of drink and sweets, chocolate and stuff. Honestly, I don't know how she done it, because I know they didn't have any money, but like, come back with the bags. I was like, oh, card walk there. She was like, oh, don't even ask, Dave, just don't ask in that, but have I done well, yes you have,
Looking
you
for
know,
approval.
pal, like,
Class.
Batlax has stuck, like, and I've been very close to her since. She's had a new baby of late, which...
Well done, baby Batlax.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know the new baby's name.
Baby Batlax.
So I'll be a future terrible godfather if I'm chosen to be one. So my apologies, but you know how much I love you. And well, if it wasn't for this shopping trip and like whatever, the lasses, like I wouldn't have went to that first Monte event, because after that I was like, I proper enjoyed that night. I'm loving like the Monte tunes. Like, I'll start doing some mixes and stuff, and then I start doing Monte mixes, and then my like DJ career exploded like from my last shopping trip, like I guess technically, because I did like Monte beforehand. Well, it was alright, but it didn't proper grab us like the first time I heard New Monkey type Macana.
I know what you mean. Right, we'll just tie this up today because we've been going 2 hours now, so...
Have we?
We have, aye.
Do if you okay, subscribe for more mixes.
Yeah,
sorry, REEDY's not like said anything. Sorry, I've talked absolute shit. I've tried not to swear. We've been on things.
Continue to swear.
I've just got back from a festival, and I'm still mortal, and I'm still talking shit.
Where can we find you then? Do a few K.
Hell.
Okay.
You'll find me in a coffin in hell in probably tomorrow morning.
2 few K.
I've got an Instagram and a SoundCloud. That's about it. You won't find us on Facebook or out like that these days. If you've got my number, you've got my number.
Right, no worries.
Sorry. Shout out Neil Jermaine, Sean Jermaine once again. Cousin to Newcastle. Well, last time I was here, I said, oh, my cousin Neil, he'll want to shout out. I sent him, it wasn't too long ago. He was like, back of the phone, yeah, Chris, that was sound that like, from enjoyed it. So, hold tight, Neil Jermaine, ACTIVE, active MIC.
Right, cheers for listening. Don't forget, share with your mates. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, boys.
Ballistic, we're going to make you cake it.
Right, see you later.
Pleasure.